Then I had two things before me. One side was pulling to me was go for postdoctoral research. And I was looking for, and I wanted to work in that phenomenon. I wanted to work with, at Princeton, or the people who are working in the area of non-local phenomenon. And Professor Erringen, Professor Truesdale, Edelin, with whom I directly worked on the non-local. We wrote a research monograph also almost together. This one paper, we wrote papers together and other. And I wanted to do that. At that time, what happened was there was another thing which happened in my life, which was another turning point. The government of India had decided to set up Electronics Commission.
This was which year?
This was 1970, 71. 71, Mrs. Gandhi, Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister, and prompted by Homi Bhabha, who created the Atomic Energy Commission, prompted by further by Vikram Sarabhai, who created a Space Commission. And they felt, Homi Bhabha said electronics is going to be very important one day, and nobody was clear about that. And then, inspired by, I think, what the words of Vikram Sarabhai and Homi Bhabha, Mrs. Gandhi decided to create Electronics Commission. It was, and first chairman was Vikram Sarabhai. They wanted to set up a core group, and they came to IITs. We wanted some bright people for the core group, and they came to IIT Delhi. And my name, suddenly the head of the department or the people recommended, there's a guy called Vijay Bhatkar, and there are some other 2-3 guys. They should be, when I was called from my hostel that there is Electronics Commission, I said, electronics, it has nothing to do with me. I told at that time, it has nothing to do with me. I never entered electronics lab because I had gone so abstract and so mathematics deeply. I said, it has nothing to do with it. I was refused to get up from my bed and come for that discussion. But somehow my professor prevailed that they have come, at least come and face them or talk to them. And I was reluctantly went for a discussion. And there was a professor called Professor Dr. Shaivgiri, who wanted to set up a group called Information Planning and Analysis Group, who was a brilliant person. And when I started talking, he was also a mathematician. He studied in Institute of Science, Bangalore, and he studied in Tata Institute of Fundamental Research. He was there, and he was teaching there, he was a researcher there. And he's totally saying, it's your mathematics we want for India's future planning. I think he convinced that we did planning commission models, mathematics models, and this, and you alone can do that. He inspired me so much. And he told about me, I asked my background of my father, and he said, your parents are given, they have sacrificed their life for India's freedom, and now you have an opportunity to build India. What are you doing? So you want to go to the US for studies, for researchers? It is India. And I was so inspired by that word, these words, and then I almost gave up my postdoctoral research. I said, we will do research right in India. So he inspired me, and I joined the Electronics Commission. So my first few years, and at that time electronics industry was being developed. Electronics industry was just started, nascent industry was being developed. So I participated in the policy makings. I participated in the models. I work in control systems. At that time India was building its plants, steel plants, power plants, many things, cement plants. And I became control system engineer.
Now, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, the great yogi who was my teacher and inspirer, he said specifically many times that India's great strengths lay in electronics and in information technology, and that India must focus on it, and India must build her future out of those two great disciplines.
Wonderful.
So he had this vision, and he would have absolutely backed everything you did.
In 73, 71, I started getting exposed to electronics. 71, during that time, when Electronics Commission was set up. I was working in engineering control systems, and as I said, and when I was given the responsibility of developing electronics industry, what responsibility I took? Control systems.
Yes, indeed.
Why it was? Because India was going for huge industrialization, setting up the past, heavy industries, power plants, cement plants, chemical plants, fertilizer plants. I said, I will take that responsibility. And I proposed that at that time, the control systems were very pneumatic. Everything would come from Russia.
Of course.
The Bhilai steel plant, and pneumatic, electrical, huge machineries. And I said, and computers had emerged already.
Yes.
I said, why not put computers in or power plant, steel plant? That thinking was already there. I said, I would work on that. 71, 72, I think during that time, the first chip, where a whole computer on a chip was a microprocessor,
Yes.
was done by Ted Hoff and his team in Intel. And I said, that is something. I said, now computer we have in a chip, and it's affordable. It's everybody can just touch it. Not a huge computer, but that chip. I decided that this is going to be a game changer. I said, I will focus on development of everything, because India did not have foreign exchange. We could not import computers. It will take 3 years, 5 years to get one computer into India. I said, we will get these chips, build computers around it,
Yes.
and apply it in this plan. That precisely we started doing. I think I was so fascinated by this chip that now you can do anything with it. I looked at, like Alan Turing, I looked at now we have a chip where I can put my intelligence, creative intelligence onto that chip.
Indeed.
This is what I did.
But it takes something else, and it takes going beyond digital information in order to put real creative intelligence into a chip. Now, in the US recently, there's a wonderful lady called Hava Siegelman, and she has developed something which is computing, which is done on essentially neural nets.
Yes, yes.
And she has gone beyond the Turing limit and beyond the Turing principle, and she has developed something called the super Turing computer.
I would like to learn about that.
This is something that I believe we should really be focused on, because this shows that this here goes beyond mere digital analysis. And this is something I think we should profitably focus on in the next stage of our conversations.
When you said some time back, super string theory, super Turing machines.
Yes.
But I would say further my journey.
Yes.
Then this is what. So from abstraction to I come to direct engineering to building Indian. And first time, you see, I did my PhD, published so many papers in control systems, but I had not seen a control system. I had myself not seen. I'm an engineer. And I was post that kind of thing. When I saw the plans and the control system, the whole plan, control and instrumentation panels,
Yes.
and computer control systems, first thing I did was that I wanted to do that. One thing I would like to contribute is making our automation and control systems with computer-based automation system based on microprocessor, developed in India. And that's why I started. In order to do that, I said microprocessor education, microprocessor training must be compulsory part, mandatory for our engineering education.
Yes.
And then we developed the first kits.
Systems engineering.
Systems engineering, microprocessor-based systems, indigenously designed and all that thing. And this occupied me. And today I must say, today India has got the most advanced automation systems, distributed computer control, hierarchical distributed computer, adaptive control systems, all our plants, etc., and which you could do based on the work, perhaps foundations work done at that time.
That's an extraordinary story. It's one of the most amazing stories in engineering and original engineering thinking I have ever heard. And I really thank you for telling it.